Hi guys, welcome back to another FSD video. This is the first documented or recorded drive with version 14.3.2 in my 2023 Model S Plaid with hardware 4. So it's been a few days since I made this video. What happened was when I got this software update, I was using the FSD and the car went over a pothole which damaged my tire, and I had to get a new tire because the tire actually had a full-on tear. Luckily I was able to drive home and my rim was not damaged, so I was very close to my home when this happened. Just got my new tire and we are on the road again. So there are a lot of updates in this new version. First of all, I was like a little bit surprised that FSD did not try to avoid the pothole that I went over, because it was like a big pothole. It was not like a small one. So anyway, so we all know that that's not like there in this thing yet, and I've been saying all along in my previous videos as well, if you follow this channel, that please pay attention when you're driving. And I take it on myself because I just got carried away and I didn't have time to react. Otherwise I would have taken care of it and avoided the situation. But there are a lot of improvements with this stack. The reaction times have been improved in various scenarios, and I'm gonna put all the release notes in the comment section and in the description of this video as well, so that you guys can go through. There's a lot of things here. Performance around parking has been improved as well, and a lot of integration has happened between the different models that were utilizing actual smart summon, FSD and robotaxi, right? So we will see in this drive how it performs. And then if you can see my screen, it is talking about add pothole avoidance. So I'm sure I'm not the only one complaining about it, and other people probably had some incidents and they are talking about it too. But we'll see how it goes. And look at this. So this is not a pothole, but I would not want to go over it, and the car was going to go over it. So also you can see that when you disengage FSD, it's going to tell you what happened, right? So we pick in this case I'll just put discomfort, but you can put scenarios. It's not like letting you record and send your feedback back like it used to do that before in the past. So I have put some directions here. We will see how the FSD performs in this drive. Also, I am not sure what's going on with YouTube Shorts. I have been posting a lot of lot of content there, and it seemed like YouTube updated their algorithm. So some of those things that I'm talking about, especially the tire situation, I did post some short videos around there. Not sure if anybody was able to see that, but because there are changes on the YouTube algorithm. I think that's what's causing it. Anyways, so if you are new here, please consider subscribing, checking some other content out. I try to make FSD videos. My channel is not just about FSD videos. I do make videos about other things too. I travel too, and I make videos about that as well. But do check the content out, and if you like what you see, please consider subscribing so that you can help this small channel out. Remember, subscription is totally free. It's not costing you anything, right? So let's keep going. Apparently during a rain or other weather situation, FSD should perform a little bit better as well. Let me just go to the release notes. I did read something quickly while I'm paying attention to the road as well. I don't want to have another situation. Okay, so also the response to emergency vehicles, school buses, and things of that nature have been improved. Traffic light handling during complex intersection scenarios will be improved. We'll see how that goes. Improved handling for rare and unusual objects extending, hanging, or leaning into the vehicle path by a source, infrequent events, and blah blah blah. A lot of details here. Okay, I need to pay attention to the road. That's why it's alerting me. Okay, so there was something about the weather too, if I remember. maybe I read it wrong. I'll check again and get back to you on that. But there are a lot of improvements here, especially the reaction time that has improved. You know, again, like although this is my first documented recorded drive, I see FSD reacting a little bit abruptly in you know, certain situations. So I was on a road where there were a lot of traffic and people were walking by. Normally FSD would gradually move the car to the left and then, you know, try to move around things, or would just stop. In certain scenarios I noticed that it just like quickly went to the left while I was on, I think, hurry mode. Like I usually keep it on the hurry mode, but you know, I was not expecting, it was a little bit abrupt. So I think it's like adding back to that quicker reaction time, although nothing was going to happen in that scenario, but I think it sensed something and reacted. So again, I don't have that, you know, recorded, so I cannot, you know, go back and, you know, see what was going on. But another thing that, you know, I just noticed. So far so good. This drive has been fine, and I am gonna take over as necessary because I don't want to pay for another tire. These tires are very expensive, by the way. I have 21-inch wheels on this Model S Plaid, and you know, tires are $500 and $600, somewhere around that. So each tire costs you around like $600 with everything done. So that's the only thing which I don't like about FSD. I use it a lot, and then, you know, again, stats show that too, right? So if I go to my self-driving stats, you can see, like, you know, 94% of my drive have been on self-driving, and this is like around 6,087 miles. Out of that, 5,742 are on self-driving. And again, that's after they started bringing the, you know, stats up. You know, I'm sure, like, I have 28,000 miles on this car now. Pretty much 94 to 95% it would have been on FSD. You know, I usually drive it myself on the weekends, you know, if I'm going with a car gang or something, put the car in the track mode or something. But that's generally like, you know, a weekend activity. But you know, during weekdays or in a normal situation, it's always 100% like self-driving. A little bit of rain is there, but it's not like very cloudy, as you can see. I have my ND filter on too. Let me just fix the view for you guys a little bit. The wipers on automatic mode. Feel free to, you know, provide me any comments in the comment section down below if you want me to test any specific scenarios or test any complex situation. You know, I will love to do that and, you know, provide you my feedback. And as you have seen previously too, I try to keep the FSD videos uncut as much as possible, so that if something happened, you can see in the scenario and, like, you know, how FSD reacted. So, you know, just want to throw it out there, guys. The speed limit is 40 here. We're going at 45-ish. Following the distance from the car at the front, we'll be making a left from here. I just put like the address for country club here, so we'll see what happens when it reaches the destination. What I've noticed, like when I'm going to my gym, like, you know, the parking behavior has improved. You know, it's not like confused when it gets to a parking lot. It's just you know, pick a parking spot and like try to park the car on its own. You can always override that and, you know, pick the spot that you want. You can do that, but you know, for the scenarios that we're talking about, or for this video, we'll just let FSD do what it decides and see what happens. I'm ready to take over anytime, you know. So this was another pothole. New Jersey is like a worst state right now in terms of potholes. I don't know where our tax money is going, there are roads which are worse than a third world country, I would say. It's just crazy. Potholes everywhere, they don't fix it, and it's just very bad. I was in California a few weeks back, and you know, the roads there were amazing throughout. I went to different places in San Francisco as well, like, so you know, I think FSD would be perfect for California type roads. But in New Jersey, if you want like the full FSD experience, I think pothole avoidance, the feature that I was talking about in the beginning that they're trying to bring in, is a must. Because you know, look at this, like these are crazy, especially if you have very low profile tires, then it's very, very dangerous to, you know, rely on FSD. I have to take over several times to avoid this. And don't get me wrong, like, you know, the service is really, really good. I just have very low profile tires, right? And I would expect, like, you know, the software to support what you have on your car. So especially like for Model X, S, anything with 21-inch rims and 30-35 profile tires, potholes, you know, you only just need to hit one time and then your, you know, wheel is gone. Some cases rims are gone too, and it's very expensive. So luckily I'm on first set of rims. Tires, you know, I did change my tires at 14,000 miles. So the tire that got ruined had like around 14,000 miles on it. So the car is now at 28,000 miles. So I did change my tires at 14,000 miles, and that's when I put the shims in my rear suspension, so that like we don't get uneven wear, right? So I did make a video about that in the past. So my rear tires are still fine at 14,000 miles, and I'm driving on low mode majority of the times. I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's raining now. I'm not getting any FSD degraded warning yet. Cameras are clean, and it's gonna keep showing until you select an option. So I hit discomfort again. The wipers are still on automatic mode. I have really no idea what happened with the YouTube algorithm. I was getting so much traffic, and with their new algorithm and updates, you know, I think the smaller channels are getting impacted big time, because I'm not getting much of a traffic, especially on the YouTube shorts. And again, it's not my full-time job. I just do it for fun. Just want to show you what I'm doing. Like, so I make videos here and there. Yeah, I still shoot some weddings here and there, guys. So still using Canon R5C for that. Just recently shot a full-on wedding. A lot of you guys, when you know I started my channel, joined because I was making that kind of content. So yeah, I will, you know, make another video about, like, you know, camera related stuff as well, but you know, I just don't shoot that much often. So okay, so we are gonna be turning here. Okay, country club. Okay, we are here. I am gonna see what the car decides to do in terms of parking. Plenty of parking today. The golf course. So okay, so it's probably gonna decide. Oh, okay, it just stopped in the middle of the road. It didn't even try to park. Okay, so let's do it one more time, and let me just move a little bit forward. And okay, let's see. I had to manually do it. I haven't noticed this behavior before, so this is the first one. It's really struggling. Okay, so I'm just keeping my foot on the brake just in case. Okay, I think it's trying to park. Okay, let's see where it parks. This is not the parking spot though. Okay, so let's see. Okay, it stopped, but this is not a parking spot, guys. The parking spot was next to it, but as you've seen, like, there's some glitches in this version still. I think there will be a new version that will come out and solve these things.